Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Nick here again. Today we are finally revisiting folklore on my own terms. We got off track a little bit, but we left off at August, and so the next song on the track, or the album I should say, is This Is Me Trying. And we're going to continue doing the Pond Studio sessions because I think they're like so vibrant. It's Taylor in her element, away from the world, in her own studio. Her producers are there, and it's just kind of unfiltered, raw performance and vibrato. And I'm loving it. I'm loving every second of it, and I appreciate every single one of you who have helped me on this journey. I've talked a little bit about my relationship with John Mayer in the past. I guess another thing to tell you guys is that I am a psych nurse, and so large part of my shifts are usually involve talking to people who are struggling with mental illness, and I'm there to support them in a therapeutic way. The reason I bring that up is because I have heard that this song is has something to do with mental illness and people who are not illness is not the right word, but just struggling with mental health, right? And so for Taylor to write a song about this, I'm very excited, frankly. So without further ado, I just wanted to remind you to go support Taylor on her channel. I'll leave a link in the description to her original video. And if you haven't subscribed to me yet, that would be awesome. Like, comment, all this stuff for the algorithm. It does help get this out to more Taylor Swift fans and people who haven't discovered her music. And I do have a Patreon as well down below if you feel like supporting me further. It does help quite a bit. Okay, let's do this.
I've been thinking about addiction, and I've been thinking about people who, if they're either suffering through mental illness or they're suffering through addiction, or they have an everyday struggle. No one pats them on the back every day, but every day they are actively fighting something. But there are so many days that nobody gives them credit for that.
Yeah.
And so how often must somebody who's in that sort of internal struggle must want to say to everyone in the room, you have no idea how close I am to going back to a dark place, or you have no idea.
Or you have no idea how hard it is to get to the point where you guys think is still shitty.
Yes.
Like, I think about that a lot. Like, the idea of doing your best or trying is one that only a person knows, and you know when you're doing it. And it's so hard, which is what I get from that song, when you're doing your damn best and it's not good enough.
Yep.
And it rarely is.
Yeah.
But it's, and then it's a very isolating feeling, which I think is funny because it actually is the thing that binds all of us, is we're all like doing our best and feeling like it's not even close to good enough.
Yeah, I had this idea that the first verse would be about someone who is in a sort of a life crisis and has just been trying and failing in their relationship, has been, messing things up with people they love, has been letting everyone down, and kind of has driven to this overlook, this cliff.
Yep.
And is just in the car going, I could do whatever I want in this moment, and it could affect everything forever. But this person backs up and drives home. And
yeah, I love that. The idea that not driving off the cliff is an act of trying.
Yeah.
Which is almost the ultimate act of trying.
Yeah. And then the second verse is about, someone who felt like they had a lot of potential in their life. I think there are a lot of mechanisms for us in our school days, in high school or college, to excel and to be patted on the back for something. And then I think a lot of people get out of school and there are less abilities for them to get gold stars.
Yeah.
And then you have to make all these decisions, and you have to pave your own way, and there's no set class course you can take, and and I think a lot of people feel really swept up in that. And so I was thinking about this person who is really lost in life and then starts drinking, and every second is trying not to.
Yeah.
Okay, before we get into the song itself, that was a really powerful conversation. And I just want to give props to Taylor there for recognizing that, trying is most of the battle, right? when you're fighting your demons, you don't get credit for that. People see the product of, someone who's struggling with psychosis or depression. They only see the final product, but they don't see any of the constant battle that comes up with that bubbles up. Eloquently said to say that, you don't get credit for all of the attempts to climb out of the hole, right? And that there's no pathway after high school or college or whatever. No one's holding your hand, and you know, I think you could make a real argument that you know, we don't teach people growing up the best. We have sort of bumper rails on these days. Like you're at the bowling alley and you hit the bumper, but you're gonna still get a strike. But then you get out and real life happens, and there's turmoil and strife. So that was amazingly well said. And your terrible could be someone else's like best, right? That was another key element there. Okay, I'm very excited. I think this is gonna be good.
And every second is trying not to.
Yeah.
I've been having a hard time adjusting. I had the shiniest wheels, now they're rusting. I didn't know if you'd care if I came back. I have a lot of regrets about that. Pulled the car off the road to the lookout. Could've followed my fears all the way down. And baby, I don't quite know what to say, but I'm here in your doorway. I just wanted you to know that this is me trying. I just wanted you to know that this is me trying.
Like she said, the first verse, pulling up to an overlook. I think a lot of people have had some overlook that they go to in their high school years, or somehow I'm imagining high school, but maybe college years with, lovebirds go up there or whatever. But in this case, it's someone that's sort of reflecting on their life and trying to make a decision of if they want to keep living, right? And they back up. She said something about, new wheels turning to rust. So the wear and tear of life. But I thought about how that would affect everyone else in my life. That one little decision, to follow my feelings over the cliff and tumble. And I was going to talk a little bit about taking your own life, but I think it's been hashed out a lot in society, and so it's a long discussion. But I'll just say that it's one of those decisions that is often regretted by everyone that does it, and it affects everyone in your life. So very brave of her to write a song here, because I know a lot of people have felt down and distraught at times in their life, but there's always a fresh breath of air that comes eventually, right? Which sometimes provides perspective.
This is me trying.
Go back.
Just wanted you to know that this is me trying. Told me all of my cages were mental, so I got wasted like all my potential, and my words shoot to kill when I'm mad. Told me all of my cages were mental, so I got wasted like all my potential.
So I got wasted like all my potential. I got wasted. I drank myself to death or to oblivion, and all of my potential got wasted as well. Sort of a self-fulfilling prophecy, right? You go down that hole, and life is just going to become harder for you, sadly.
control, and my words shoot to kill when I'm mad. I have a lot of regrets about that. I was so ahead of the curve became a sphere. Fell behind all my classmates and I ended up here, pouring out my heart to a stranger, but I didn't pour the whiskey. I just wanted you to know that this is me trying.
I just poured my heart out to a stranger, so I talked through my feelings, but I did not pour the whiskey. And that was restraint. And this is me trying. Again, a small act that most people, they wouldn't even know you did it. But that was an internal struggle with addiction and your want for something to drown out the pain, right? Addiction is so powerful, and the restraint of not following that urge, no one gets credit for that, right? In fact, a lot of people look down on people. You know, they pity them for being a recovering alcoholic or recovering drug addict. They label them in society. When, to me, that's a massively brave thing to do, and also, you know, they're trying to make a positive change in their life.
I just wanted you to know that this is me trying. At least I'm trying. And it's hard to be at a party when I feel like an open wound. It's hard to be anywhere these days when all I want is you. You're a flashback and a film reel on the one screen in my town. And I just wanted you to know that this is me trying. I just wanted you to know that this is me trying. At least I'm trying.
That falsetto when she goes into "At least I'm trying" is so pretty. It really is pretty, and it breaks up the scale a little bit. Well sung, but to me, this song is all about the message right there. Very simple melody, which I prefer when you're trying to convey a message, not trying to make it too complicated and fuss it up with a lot of you know, extra instruments or crescendos. That was great. Did she convey the message? Did she convey that there's hope at the end of the tunnel, or light at the end of the tunnel? And I think she did. But also, I think this song is less about hope in like the trivial way that a lot of songs are, and more about the journey to get there and the little baby steps that people take in their lives, right? You know, and setbacks. But it's really about trying, whether that's you being in a relationship with someone and making an effort to do things differently because you know they prefer it that way, or, you know, doing something for your own self, right? You know, not reaching for that bag of chips or beer at the end of the day because it gives you comfort, but you know it might lead you to a place you don't want to go. Sorry, those were kind of stupid examples, but I think you see the point I'm trying to make, and I thought Taylor did a really good job with this song. So glad to be back on the folklore train here. We're getting close to the end of the album here, so so far it's been a wonderful progression, and a lot of it has been very cohesive in terms of telling a story that makes sense all the way through. Characters, people that she you know, wrote about during the pandemic, presumably, people that everyone can relate to in America. So, the world, I should say. Thank you very much to everyone out there. No one requested this song. This is purely me just trying to get back into Folklore, the album, and to do it justice. And I'm loving every minute. Again, go make sure to subscribe to Taylor Swift. I know she's on tour right now. Get hype. And I'll see you in the next one. Just make sure to subscribe, like, comment if you haven't, and consider joining the Patreon if you want to support me and or request a song through some links down below. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.